Om Shanti 2023 September 1 मधुबन मुरली बाबा का महावाक्य एसेंस स्वीट चिल्ड्रेन stop remembering your own bodies and those of everyone else and recognize the Father accurately as He is and what He is and consider yourself to be point and remember the Father in the form of a point. Question: which knowledge do you only receive from the Father at this time? Knowledge that no one else can give you. Answer: you live together as housewives. You look after your household and also remain pure. The Father gives you this knowledge at this time. No one else can give you this knowledge. You have to donate the 5 vices. The main one is lust, which you have to conquer completely. Only by remembering the Almighty authority and following His direction do you receive strength for this. Song: have mercy on those who are unhappy. Details: Om Shanti. That Father sits here and explains to you children. Who is that Father? You children sitting in front of the Father know this. The intellect yoga of you children is with the unlimited Father. You have to break your intellect yoga away from limited Father. You have to forget all your friends and relatives, your one bodies and your bodily relation in this whole world. You receive this direction from the Father. The Father never forgets the children. The Father says, even on the path of devotion, I have been looking after you, devotee. However, according to the drama, you children had to forget this. It is Maya that makes you forget this. Ravan also makes you forget that you are souls and makes you body conscious. This is in the part of you children. It is not that you simply forget the Father. You also forget to remember the Father, who He is and what is, and also the knowledge of Him giving you happiness. You now know that the Father comes here every cycle. Your intellects also have to imbibe that Baba is like. People have made large image of Shivalingam. The picture of all the other are fine, just as the picture of Brahma, Vishnu and Shankar is fine, and they are also worshipped in the temples. However, they forget the name, form, place and time of the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul. They even forget His image. It has been explained to you children that each soul is a point. It is a point like a star. It resides in the center of the forehead. You children know that you are soul, the place of residence of myself. The soul is in this body, in the center of the forehead. Everyone would accept this. It is very subtle like a point. You also know that the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, would also be a point in the same way. He comes Himself and explains to you, I too am a point. However, people have made His form big like a Jyotirlingam in the same way as they have made a big form of Buddha. On the path of devotion, they have portrayed the Pandavas with very tall bodies. On the path of devotion, they have big image, whereas on the path of this knowledge, we have smaller image. God says, I am a point. In some places they keep large image of lingam. How would a point be worshipped? It would definitely be something large that is worshipped. The form of a point has now been explained to you. People do not understand this thing. You children also did not have this understanding previously. Now that your stage has matured, you understand that this is accurate. If Baba had explained this at the beginning, we would not have understood because a point is really nothing. We would not have accepted that. They speak of the Shivalingam from time immemorial. So what is that? The father explained that too is wrong. I, your father, I am a point. You too have the form of a point, but they create large Shivalingam for worshipping, etc. They make the form of souls like Saligram, but they are not like that. A soul cannot be that big. It is very difficult to see a soul. These are very deep things and have to be understood. Each soul too is the form of a point. The part of 84 bath is recorded in such a tiny soul. 1 second cannot be the same as the next. The whole part of 84 bath is recorded in such a tiny soul. These things are nature. A whole part is in each point. In other play, the entire parts remain in the intellect of those who are to play their part. Those are small parts, but you have to understand this part of 84 parts very well, and you also need clever way of explaining to others. Each soul is such a teeny point. It is so teeny and yet it is so powerful. He is called the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul. You souls become Master Almighty authorities by having yoga with Him. You conqueror Maya and then rule an unshakable, immovable, peaceful and happy kingdom. These matters have to be understood. This is your study. It is very easy. And the Father can explain this. No human being can explain it. He truly is so teeny, but he is given such a big name. The ocean of knowledge. You said that he is seed of human world tree. He is living. He is the truth. He is imperishable. People have been saying this, but it does not enter anyone's intellect what he is. They praise his virtue a great deal. You children are now sitting personally in front of the Father. You know that you souls are personally in front of Him. All souls are brother. Just think about it. Souls are such teeny points. When we draw a picture of the incorporeal world, we show form a point just as stars hang in the sky. In the same way, we souls will be hanging in our one section in the great element. The tree has been made up of teeny star. Souls come from their adult body to play their part. Your intellect should work on how souls come down number wise. The section of each religion would be separate. The Father explains to you with examples. He also explained to you the example of the banyan tree. The Hindi language is used in many places, and so children have to explain in that language. The Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul. Supreme Soul also explained using the Hindi language. Nowadays, they continue to spread this widely everywhere. It is difficult for there to be just one language. Some people think that the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, knows all language, but it cannot be like that. There are so many different languages. They would have to be learned. The Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, does not need to learn anything. He explained in the same language that he used in the previous cycle. However, everyone has to study in their own language. Would the Father have to learn it? You can see that the Hindi language has been used from the beginning. Everyone continuing to learn Hindi. The Hindi language is widely used in Bharat. The Father also explained in Hindi, and then everyone has to translate it into their own language and explain to others. The introduction of the Father and His creation have to be explained to everyone. That one Father is the bestower of salvation for all. Everyone will come to know that the Father truly came. The Father says, I only come in Bharat. Bharat is my birthplace. The temples to Shiva and the temples to the deities are also here in Bharat. The kingdom of the deities is also in Bharat. The Father too comes in Bharat. The establishment of the deity religion takes place here. Therefore, the temples also definitely have to be here. Others would not have as many temples. Here, there are many temples. There are pictures of Lakshmi and Narayan, Radhe and Krishna, Rama and Sita is. Every home become they excited, they exited in Bharat. However, people have forgotten how they claimed the kingdom. In living form, they ruled the kingdom. Lakshmi and Narayan were the empress and emperor of paradise. You also know how long it has been since they ruled the kingdom. You say 3000 years before Christ, there was the kingdom of deities. So it is now 2000 years since Christ exited. Therefore, explain this particular point to those who say this. They say that there was the kingdom of deities 3000 years before Christ. That is, there was heaven. They do not say that Christ was in that heaven. You should ask, where were the Christians at that time? That is, where were their souls? Where were the souls of all of those of Islam, the Buddhists and the Christian? It is very easy to explain this thing. They were all in the land of Nirvana, the incorporeal world. There is the incorporeal world. There must definitely be many living in the world. The place of residence of all souls is the incorporeal world. The great element, it is now in the intellect of you children, that the soul of all the deities are present here at this time. This is the time when the Father comes and once again carries out establishment of the deity religion. For example, when a new religion begins, it is very small at first. When the small branches emerge and come to an end, your foundation will also be complete. It is very easy to explain the secret of the seed and the tree. The tree of the human world is that of many religions. They can understand from that when such and such a religion existed and when such and such a religion did not exist. Now smaller religions are emerging that did not exist previously. Small branches have now emerged. Only you children know this No one else knows it. They do not know the point form of souls and the Supreme Soul. Baba has now come and explained to you children. You say, Baba, we are your children. We also met you in the previous cycle. We became your children. You become the children in order to claim the Father's inheritance. The Father says, you belong to me. That is, you have become my Madhuban adopted creation. All of you are adopted. All of you are adopted. Baba speaks through the mouth of Brahma. You souls are mine. You souls also say, Baba, you have entered the body of Brahma and given us your introduction. And so we belong to you. As soon as you say, Baba, you should receive the programs of the inheritance. Only you children can say this. This is a family path. Sannyasis have disciples. They are not fathers and children. Only from one's father can an inheritance of property be received. Those people say that they have adopted a guru. An inheritance of property cannot be received from a guru. They renounce their property and go away to the forest. They cannot give any property away. They belong to the path of isolation. The Father gives you property, whereas you do not receive anything from them. When they go to a forest, they are called sannyasis. You too are called sannyasis. They are Hatha Yoga sannyasis, whereas you are Raj Yogi sannyasis. Sannyasis means those who renounce the 5 vices. You renounce them and then go to the pure world. They have renunciation, but they do not go to the pure world. They only remain in the impure world. The Father explains, souls are so teeny. Such teeny things have so much strength. They are also imperishable. That Father explains through this body. You souls understand it. The Father says, I come when it is the end of the iron age and everyone is tamopradhan and impure. It is then that you remember me. I come when it is the confluence age. It is then that the sign of destruction are visible. You truly can see them. You have now received understanding which you have to give to others. It is now definitely the end of the iron age. There are also the Yadavas, Kauravas and Pandavas. There is the Mahabharata war too. Truly, they studied Raj Yoga at that time. The Pandavas gained victory and the Yadava and Kaurava were destroyed. There is just the one religion in heaven. All the innumerable religion will have ended. The Father sits here and explains this. You children know that we claim the deity status from the Father through this teaching of Raj Yoga. You definitely have to make effort to become Narayan from an ordinary man. We will definitely become the Father's heir and be seated on the heart throne. He will then claim a status according to how much effort you made. Effort maker cannot remain hidden. They are very intoxicated. First of all, you make a promise. After the father birth, there is the festival of Raksha Bandhan. So, having come to know the Father, you have to make a promise to him. The Father says, lust is the greatest enemy. All the 5 vices have to be donated. The main one is lust. You have to remain very cautious about this. Allow you all live with your wife and family, to remain pure is something that requires effort. By remembering the Almighty Authority, Father, and following His directions, you receive strength. The Father's order are, while living together, you have to remain pure. Previously, when your husbands and wife lived together, there would be fire. The Father says, live together, but there must be no fire. Acha, to the sweetest, beloved, long lost, and now found children, love, remembrance, and good morning from the Mother, the Father, Bab Dada. The spiritual father says Namaste to the spiritual children. We should say to the sweet father, good morning, Om Shanti, all the best. Essence for Dharana. Number 1, keep the Father in your heart and maintain the happiness of receiving the pravatti. You definitely have to become completely pure. Understand? Number 2, just think about how tiny each soul is and how each one has such an imperishable part recorded in him. Become a point and stay in remembrance of the Father, a point. Blessing, may you be one of the clever and wisest ones, and just give once of your one free will with determination and receive multi-million fold in return. Details: the cleverest and wisest children give a handful of unwashed rice and create a multi-million fold fortune. They just give rice, and in return of that receive all the power, all the treasures, and more than 36 variety of food. However, at the time of giving, like Sudama, even this much, some children secretly hide it under their arms. The father can take it by pulling it from those children, but if it has been taken from you, you will not get that much in return. Therefore, when you give even once of your one free will with determination, it is like receiving multi-millions. This is being clever. There is benefit in giving in this way. Slogan: those who watch every game with detachment as observer truly are detached observer. Thank you. Sweet Shiv Baba, Shukriya, Dhanyabad, Om Shanti.